So on the channel I've been talking about hypersigils. I've got a whole series about them at this point. And hypersigils are something that you can do consciously and something that you can do unconsciously as well. They are a way of the divine, the spiritual, getting a message through to us in the physical world. And there are a lot of them in forms of artwork, in music, in TV shows, like anything that we humans can create or conceive, we can be influenced by spirits. So higher powers, the divine, as I say. And so I've got a whole series about them, things that I've personally noticed, things that other people have noticed, and how the human subconscious mind, which is our creative, emotional mind, picks up on things. Like, yes, we can be inspired by each other, of course, that's a given, and we are inspired by our environment and our upbringing, and there's lots of factors to bring into this. I'm not saying that hypersigils are always messages, because there is a line between spirituality and mental health, so it's like everything's a sign. No, not everything. But if we can tap more into our creative analytical minds, then we can look back at things that maybe we've had in our past, media we've consumed, which is something I'm going to be talking about here, because this is a very personal hypersigil to me. That if I wasn't down this rabbit hole, if my spirit team hadn't told me what a hypersigil was and got me to do these videos, then I maybe wouldn't have picked up on this, So this is a story about how Lilith has been with me longer than I have realised. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I am Sarah, that divination witch, and I hope you stick around. This channel is a witchy safe space and community I've set up to help people. We share, we ask questions, nothing silly, and we don't judge. I know that is a TikTok trend or something, isn't it? But we listen and we don't judge, and that's literally it here. So I don't tolerate any crap here. So if you want to join the community and you like that, hit subscribe. It's free. You may as well. And if you want to support the channel further, all my links are below. I offer readings. I've got a website and Etsy. I've got Patreon. Been teaching tarot. I'm going to be teaching some other things. And we're also going through the Year of the Dark Goddess on Patreon, which is all about exploring different archetypes of the Dark Goddess and stepping into our power. So if you're interested, it's all below. Thank you. This story begins when I was around 16, 17-year-old. I'd left school, and in the UK back then, I don't know what it's like now because I feel like a dinosaur, but when you were 16, you'd leave school and go to college. Now, it's not like in America, you guys, or other countries in the world where we call university college. We have school, college, university, okay? So college is the middle ground. It will be your final years of high school in America and other places, okay? So age 16, you leave school and go to college. And at that point, you're meant to know what the hell you want to do with your life as well, by the way, which I think is absurd. At 16-year-old, you don't know. I mean, I'm 35 and I'm only just starting to know, you know. So 16, I went to a local college. I had studied art at school, and I was always creative, always. And I got A stars, actually, and I got into this art college, but it's a long story. My mum wouldn't let me go at the time. Sorry, Mum, if you ever listen to this, but you wouldn't, and that's how it is. So I went for my backup choices. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad I did, because this time in my life, I started to explore myself, and I was a bit of a rebel, if I'm quite honest. I used to skip college and go to the pub underage and smoke, all that jazz. Yeah, I was a bit of a rebel. And you know what? I think we all need a bit of a rebel stage in life. it helps us explore who we are as people, and I was. And yes, I was a goth, and then I was into the emo scene stuff. Although, if you called me an emo, I would have been offended by that. I had a MySpace, back in the day, back-combed hair. It was blue and purple at some point, and stuff like this, But the music I listened to, oh gosh, I still listen to it now. It wasn't just MCR and like emo stuff. I listen to symphonic metal. I've always been drawn to the fantastical, you could say. Within Temptation, After Forever, obviously Evanescence. I said not too symphonic, but it was around the time Open Door, Evanescence album came out. That was a good album. So she was exploring that side, Amy Lee. Anyways, Nightwish, Tarja, she did a solo album. I had all these on CD, and I wish I kept them because it probably would have been worth some money. I had some rare stuff. I'm sure there was one called Battle Law. And there was a band that used to sing about Lord of the Rings all the time. and I'm laughing. I don't mean to laugh because it's kind of cool. Like, to me, it was just all fantasy, and I've always been drawn to that. So even though I was going through my rebellious phase, and yes, I did listen to MCR, I listened to like Paramore. I mean, that's more tame. I wasn't into Shikari or Bullet for My Valentine, things like that. I was more into the whimsical, gothic. Emily Autumn. She wasn't really symphonic metal. She was industrial, but look her up. It's interesting, I think. She was like gothic Victorian strangeness. Anyways, I was into all of that. I've got an eclectic music taste now. I mean, I love all sorts of music. You can't pin me down, sort of thing. So around that time, I was introduced to a song. I had friends who were into this as well, and this song was called Perennial Sophia. And I had no idea what this song meant, but I remember being obsessed with this song. It's by a band called Therion. Again, no idea what that meant at the time. And I was just like, wow, this song. Oh. And I would listen to it on repeat and repeat and repeat. And that was like the only Therion song I knew at the time. Now, turns out all these years later, that's a hypersigil. If you listen to the song, look it up. First off, just the song. Perennial Sophia, it's about the Gnostic Sophia. It's about, the album it's from is called Gothic Kabbalah. And it is about Holy Sophia and the story of all of that. And the song opens, because I know it by heart, so the lyrics are, enter paradise, the snake will find a way, I believe. She is Lilith, fallen from the sky. I didn't know who Lilith was then. I didn't know any of this. I just loved it. So that's like the first opening lines. She is Lilith, fallen from the sky. Now, I get knowing more about Gnosticism and Sophia. So the Gnostics, I've told the story on the channel before. The lowdown about Gnosticism is they are an offshoot of Abrahamic religions, especially Christianity, that believe that the Christian God, the Abrahamic God, is a corrupt being, is not the true God. So their theory on the universe, to me, makes more sense than any other Abrahamic religion. God, aka Yaldabaoth, is not the creator. The creator God, it created what are called aeons, which is a word for gods, okay? And they split off into pairs, a masculine and feminine for each one. And that really is reflected in all mythologies, where you get your different archetypal gods, love gods, war gods, these gods, that gods, And they split off into pairs, male and female, and from there went on and on, Sophia was the goddess of wisdom, the Aeon of wisdom. And Sophia decided, in her wisdom, or Pistis Sophia as she's called, let's reproduce by myself. And she did. And what she produced was Rebellious, which was an abomination. He was like a monstrous thing, a serpentine figure with the lion head is how they how they portray Rebellious, and he therefore was cast out of the main universe, let's say, into his own little pocket realm. And this is where conspiracy theorists say that we are in a matrix, because basically Rebellious, he was then like, I'm the one true God. That's why the Torah, the Old Testament, God's very jealous. You know, he even says, I am a jealous God, doesn't he? And his archons are the angels, basically keeping us under control, blah-de-da-de-da. So, with the lyrics, she is Lilith fallen from the sky. Now, there's other theories on Lilith I'm not going to get into in this video, but to me, the imagery of that is to say that Sophia fell from the sky. It's kind of like her doing that kind of fell from grace in the way Lilith does. And it's also to say that Lilith and Sophia are one and the same. Two sides of the coin, and that you can't have darkness without light and vice versa. You know, Sophia is meant to be wisdom, light personified, and yet she made a mistake, you know, because the light can do bad things as well as the dark. So that's the way I see it. Enter Paradise is obviously alluding to Garden of Eden and the snake as well, and the snake is wisdom. The snake wasn't the corrupter here in the Garden of Eden story. The snake was us as humans embodying the wisdom of the universe, sort of thing. Perennial is, I believe it means everlasting, so it's like a cycle, an everlasting cycle, you know. The lyrics are very heavy with imagery of creation and the Kabbalah. Hence it's on an album called Gothic Kabbalah, where the other songs mirror that too, all the different imageries and things. Bear with me. Sorry, I had to go chase my pet who was up to no good. So what was I saying there? Yeah, the imagery itself, you know, it's heavy within imagery, this song, and the whole album will be. But this song just spoke to me at that time period of my life. Now, when I was introduced to this song, I was dealing with a lot of shadows within me. You know, I was at a young age, yes, and I was exploring myself. But even like the friend group that I had at the time, let's say, how do I put this PC? Trigger warning anyone, just in case, about mental health and stuff. But this is the first time I dealt with somebody who was suicidal and things like this. So I've just spat it out. There was a friend that I had at the time, that I had to help, I managed to help them, but it was a heavy period of my life, and to me, I do feel like Lilith, in a roundabout way, was telling me, I'm with you, even though I didn't know who the heck she was. I found comfort in this music. I found something in it, you know. I can't explain it more than that. It's just so deeply personal. There is more personal imagery that I'm not going to say, but it's obvious to me, like, wow, what I was going through at that age and time and everything that was going on in my life, wow, that was definitely Lilith with me. Now, as well, not just the fact that the album's called Gothic Kabbalah, okay, and obviously all the imagery of this song, I mean, there's more imagery, but I won't bore you with all of that. Go look up the song, it's amazing, you won't regret it. The band, this blew my tiny mind, and this is why I'm like, this is a personal hypersigil. What? So the band, Therion, they're from Sweden, and I think they're still going. Now, like a lot of bands, you know, you have people come and go who are in the band or write songs and stuff. Well, let me tell you, the guy who was a lyricist for this band, who wrote this song and many others, is none other than the occultist Thomas Karlsson. And Thomas Karlsson, he wrote a book on the Qlippoth, on Kabbalah, which I am personally using right now as I am in the Qlippoth, as I am recording this video. And this has also came about while I'm in Therion, I think that's how you say it, which is the sphere to do with the sun. It is the sphere to do with knowledge and awakening. And in my personal experience in the Qlippoth, in this sphere right now, I have seen the serpent of knowledge. I have had awakenings happening, and then I found all this out. And Thomas Karlsson, chef's kiss to this song. If you were behind this, thank you. I don't know if you even realise that you have truly been a messenger for the divine, and you have truly been a messenger for Lilith. And you know what? I really resonate with him. I don't know him personally. He doesn't know me. He is, as I say, an occultist from Sweden. He wrote that book. I've got another one of his books, The Night Side of the Runes. He does link a lot of occultism, Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism with Norse stuff, given obviously who he is and his history. And that really resonates with me too. He also has his own order called Dragon Rouge, I believe. I don't know if they're still going. They're as old as me. I believe it was established in 89, and that's the year I was born. But it doesn't seem like other orders. You know, I've had some brushes with literal cults in the occult before. In Hecate's name, in Lilith's name, in other people's names. You know, there are some dodgy things out there. Thomas Karlsson is not dodgy to me, at least what I know of him and his work, etc. So that's just me, shameless plug in a way, even though he doesn't know me and I'm got no affiliation with him. If you're ever interested in the Kabbalah on the left-hand path side of things, get his book, look him up. But yes, the fact it's just blown my mind that I was going through all that at the time. The song brought me comfort. All this symbolism in the song is definitely Lilith. And then full circle, I'm in the Qlippoth. I'm working with the help of Thomas's book. And not only that, he wrote the damn song. So thank you so much for writing that song. And thank you to Lilith. I've spoke about this on the channel before, and I don't mind sharing it now. There was a time I was like, oh, I don't feel like sharing that. Look, Lilith has, how do I put this? She has a reputation, especially in Jewish mythology, of her being an unaliver of babies and children, okay? Now, what I have realised, even recently through my journey in the Qlippoth and stuff, and also stuff I've personally been going through. I mean, I responded to that Melinda on the channel. It'll be a few weeks ago now, but I'm being called a Satanist and things like this when I'm not. Now, I've noticed with anyone who's a practitioner, if enough shit is thrown, it will stink. Meaning, if enough people are going to call your names, then there's going to be some people believing it, even when it's BS, you know? And I feel like that is strongly a case with Lilith. And what she has shown me is it's not that she is unaliving these souls. Somebody's got to do the job. And a lot of demons and dark gods have to do the darker, nitty-gritty jobs. She has to, as part of her role as a mother, she takes the souls of the children and helps them reincarnate. And that's what she did for me. So if you have a child, unfortunately, this is very sensitive, I know, who isn't going to make it, she will take their soul and help find them a new host, to put it like that, a new body, a new life to go into. Because nature is kind and it is cruel, and these things happen and they will continue to happen. Unfortunately, I don't like that happens. I don't condone that happens. Of course not. I've got compassion. I've got empathy. It's not nice. It's horrible. Beyond words horrible. But it happens, and somebody's got to look after those souls and help them. And it's not just Lilith, by the way. She's one of many. But she helped me into this life. And I'm grateful for that, although my life, you know, no one's truly, truly happy either. But I am happy. I'm grateful, very grateful. And it just shows to me, I don't know, she's just been there the whole time and I didn't even know who the hell she was. When it comes to Hecate, she was the first goddess to reach out to me. And I feel like it's so complicated, but Hecate's been there my whole life too. But she was more noticeable, you know, when I look at my interests throughout my life. She's just aligned with it the whole time. But Lilith, I mean, they're both dark goddesses, they're both mothers, different attitudes, different cultures, obviously, but aren't they one and the same in a way? Aren't they the divine feminine, you know, the mother of us all, the face of that, you know? Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share this story. I hope it wasn't too interrupted when I had to go sort out the naughty one, meaning my pet. Oh, every time I get busy, every time I film, guys, he acts up. So, yes, if you have a hypersigil you want me to look into in general, or if you have a story you want to share like this, share it, put it in the comments. If you want me to talk about it in a video, I can do that. You know, I've got a list. There's so many hypersigils out there, messages from the divine, knowingly and unknowingly. But this is my personal one that I've recently picked up on, and I wanted to share with you all. And we've probably all got personal ones, but this one blew my mind. Totally blew my mind. So, thanks for watching. You may as well hit subscribe if you want to learn more about Lilith. Whole playlist on her, whole playlist on Hecate, whole playlist on hypersigils and all sorts on the channel. Go check it out. And until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye, loves.